Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Talk, Wrestle, and Repeat. My name is Alex, and thank you once again for joining me. Now, don't forget, later on tonight, live on TNT, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, taking place at the Dollar Loan Center in Henderson, Nevada. We have AEW's Saturday's Collision. Now, we have a couple matches that were added on to tonight's card. So, we have the AEW Women's World Champion and Timeless Toni Storm taking on Queen Aminata. Then we have the Virtuosa herself, Indiana Purrazzo, taking on Kiera Hogan. And lastly, we have Mark Briscoe taking on a member of the House of Black, Brody King, being accompanied by the TBS champion and Julia Hart. Now that will do it for tonight. Now, let's start the show as I guide you through next week. Let's ring the bell. And we start off with WWE's Monday Night Raw, live on USA, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, taking place at the Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. So we have the Elimination Chamber qualifying matches. We have LA Knight, taking on Ivar. Then we have the Almighty and Bobby Lashley taking on Big Bronson Reed. And for the women's, we have Zoe Stark taking on Liv Morgan. Now, so far for the men's Elimination Chamber match, qualified, we have Drew McIntyre and the Viper, Randy Orton. Now, Drew defeating the Phenomenal One, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton defeating Sami Zayn this past Friday night on SmackDown. And for the women's qualifiers, so far we have the Man and Becky Lynch, who defeated Shayna Baszler this past Monday night on Raw, and the EST Bianca Belair on this past Friday night on SmackDown as well, defeating Michin. Next up, we have R-Truth, supposedly a member of the Judgment Day. I think so. Taking on JD McDonough from the Judgment Day. And lastly, we have a 6-man tag team match as the main event in Jey Uso, Yeet, with the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, taking on Imperium's Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser, and the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion and Gunther. Then on Tuesday night, we have NXT live on USA, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, taking place at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Starting us off from Out the Mud, #OTM, we have Jada Parker taking on from the D'Angelo family and Adriana Rizzo. Then we have Kiana James being accompanied by Izzy Dane taking on Brinley Reese. Then we have Mr. Stone and Bob Wagner taking on from Metaphors, Noam Dar and Ora Mensa, being accompanied by Jakara Jackson and Last Legend. Then we have Ridge Holland taking on an opponent to yet be announced. And lastly, we have a tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championships as Tony D'Angelo and Channing Lorenzo taking on the Dusty Cup Champions and the Wolf Dogs, roof, roof, roof. And Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker. And finally, on Wednesday night, we have AEW's Dynamite, live on TBS, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, taking place at the HEB Center in Cedar Park, Texas. So far, the only matches announced, we have the AEW's EVPs and Matthew and Nicholas Jackson taking on Top Flight's Dante and Darius Martin. And that was Talk, Wrestle, and Repeat. Thank you once again for joining me. Here are the upcoming pay-per-views and premium live events and what to look out for. And as always, if you like this video, click that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and a happy Valentine's Day. Have a great night, everyone.